it's funny, like I'm so OG, like I've started so many things that have carried on now, from my outfits to painting the Money in the Bank briefcase to, things you're mentioning. I just, Sabu told me when he was training me, don't try and take someone else's spot. There's already one of those guys. Try and try and be yourself and make your own spot. That's what he always taught me, and that was, I was brought in under the respect system where, like, Sabu is my mentor, so whatever he said was word. Didn't matter, if he said it's blue and I knew it was purple, I'd say, all right, it's blue. That's the way I came into ECW in '96. He would say, hey, those guys think they're really good, but they suck. Those guys over there, they're no good. And I was like, all right, man, screw those guys. And that's how I felt. The hand gesture thing, I had no idea pointing my thumbs at myself was even creating a mock, or I don't know what the video games call it, a gesture. I was just doing that, working the crowd. Sabu in '96 was a huge babyface in ECW when I came in, so I was the heel, and they would cheer for Sabu, 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 and I would do something, 360 leg drop, boom, land on him, and then I put my ear to the crowd and say, what'd you say? Don't you mean this guy? And I'd point my thumbs and say, Rob Van Dam.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just being arrogant, being a heel. I actually picked it up from watching Jean-Claude Van Damme in the movie Kickboxer. He wants to fight Tung Po, the main heel, and he has to go through a enhancement match first, and he beats the shit out of the guy, and then he looks up at the promoters, and he says, I want Tung Po, and he's making this like double bicep, but he's not looking like he's really doing a double bicep. He's like doing it, but he's trying to make it look like he's not posing, that he's just like he's just swinging his fists in the air because he's enraged. And so I got from that, pointing my thumbs at myself, trying to show my biceps without making it look like I was doing a double bicep. But I had no idea until I was in Japan one time and the fans were doing it back at me. And I was like, oh, my God, that's me. They associate the thumbs with me. How cool. I really didn't know. It was really organic, just like everything else in my career.
So cool, so innovative, so different. And I love the fact that as you're watching the movie and going through the movie, everyone that sees you on the street, even those guys, I forget where you were, but they were all dressed up as Spider-Man. They're all doing the Rob Van Dam. It's just so funny that everywhere you go, they yell at you, but then they point themselves doing the Rob Van Dam. I just love that. Isn't that cool? Like, kind of like have all these, thousands of people on the street. Hey, Rob Van Dam, they're doing a gesture.
Yeah, it's so cool. And it's a funny question. People ask, do you ever get used to it? I am used to it. Yes, I've been used to it for years, and I get that everywhere I go, and it's like it's here in the States, it's in England, Scotland, wherever. Like, I've been on TV for a long time, and I've been walking the planet for a long time. I'm like a Highlander. That's how I feel, because like people will tell me, oh my God, like I used to watch you, and now I grew up watching you, and now my kids are watching you growing up. Not to say that you're old, and it's like, dude, I'm very aware of, I'm aware. Nothing's insulting. I've been wrestling forever, and that is what it feels like. Like generations have been watching me, and I get a lot of love everywhere I go. So that was something that I really wanted to show in the movie, was just how people react to me when I go out. Every time I leave my house, it's a form of self-promotion, because everyone's so excited and so happy to see me wherever I go. So that's really cool. I mean, it's not a thankless job, that's for sure. And that's, that, I don't know. I don't know which means more, that or the money. You got to have money, but but the love will last longer. I know that. Yeah,
it's so cool, and to be, obviously as famous as popular are, where these people are recognizing you in such a positive way, and they're kind of doing the Rob Van Dam thing. I just think that's so cool and just so awesome. Yeah, innovated so many different things. Like you said, it was a lot of organic thing. It was a lot of just kind of listening to Sabu. And it's funny you're saying he's talking to you. A lot of people aren't very used to hearing that Sabu actually speaks and that he actually talks. I mean, he's a good communicator, right? I mean, that usually gets the, he doesn't talk much kind of thing.
Yeah, that used to be 100% his thing. The Sikh never spoke English.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this was after we brought ECW back to WWE, so I guess this is 2001-ish, And Vince McMahon brought Sabu in. He wanted him to do a promo. And Sabu was so against it, he wanted to quit. And I was trying to talk him out of quitting. And he was like, no, that's what makes me special. I don't talk. I'm like, I know, but if you quit, then what? You know, like there is nowhere else to go right now. There's no WCW. There's no ECW. It was like, I was always trying to talk him out of quitting, it seems like. But he brought me in with him, you know. Vince was like, Rob, I just need Sabu, and I'm like, I know he wants me here to be comfortable, and all he wanted him to say was like one or two words. He didn't have to say sentences. He just wanted him to say like, homicidal, genocidal, or whatever, and it would have been okay. And I think he did do it maybe, but I think Sabu was right though. I think that before we heard him talk, there was so much more mystique, and that made him so much different. And I'm not saying that I know more than Vince about selling tickets. You know, don't take it that way. But just as far as personally with Sabu, you know, that I think that before he talked, and definitely before he started tweeting, he definitely